Hi friends, welcome to our channel. So this is the second chapter in the theory and practice of management. So we talk about evolution of management theories. So we start with scientific management theory. So we all know that scientific management theory is started in the beginning of the 19th century. So the basic objective of scientific management theory is replacing the man with the machines. So it says about the machines. So organizations are seeking the different ways to understand the customer requirements. So machinery was changing the way producing the goods. So we are using the latest methods, technology like conveyor belt, assembly line. So these technologies are changing the way how the goods are produced, and major focus is on the increasing the effectiveness of the managers. So managers are object oriented. So managers are given a particular task. So here the foundation was done by the Adam Smith for all the modern management theories. The foundation was Adam Smith in the 18th century. So he was a economist actually. So he has written many books so related to the management. So division of work, division of labor. So all these things are taken from his texts. So he decided that, so he found manufactured pins in two ways. One is craft and the second one is factory. So craft is like each worker did all the steps. Factory means there is a specialization. Which one will perform which task? So there is a clear distinction between the task that is going to be performed. For example, if you are a mechanical engineer, your task is different. If you are a system engineer, your task is different. So like that, everybody is given a different task. So that can be part of the job specialization. So here, Adam Smith found that the factory method has higher productivity. So when we say the specialization, work specialization, when we approach work specialization method, the result is very good. So here, what is mean by work specialization means a complete job is divided into different task. So each task is given to different people. So here let us say scientific management and the time era of scientific management, administrative management, behavioral management, management science, organization, environment theory. So these are all the modern management concepts. So scientific management, it is F.W. Taylor from the late 18th century. So it is a people and task. It defined the systematic relationship between the organization, people, and tasks, and also how efficiently we perform the tasks. So it is reducing the time on each task, time spent by each worker on different tasks. So when we say the principles in the scientific management, one is how to study the way job is performed. So determine the time and motion information. Then codification of the new method, new system. Then identifying the workers who matches the performed skill. Then establishment of performance. This is monitoring of the performance. So when we speak about the problems of scientific management basically looks into output only, not into the employee's concern. So there is no consideration for the employee interest. So employees are given the routine task and worker concern is ignored. So there is a distrusting because they are replaced by the machines. So workers could purposely underperform because of the boreness. So also management responded with the increased use of machines. So when there is a huge machines, there is a reduction of the employability. So there is a cost cutting. There is a less number of people who leads the task. So there is a insecurity about the job. So here another distinguished person, the Gilbert. So he also modified the Taylor's method. So he made many improvements to time and motion studies. So he has given breakdown of each action into components. The second one is he tried to find the better way to perform it, then reorganizing the each action. So when we say a reorganizing of the each action, how we are going to identify for the better results. For example, there is a fatigue problems, lighting, heating, and other worker issues. So those things must be addressed when you are working with the machines. Then the next one is administrative management theory. So when we talk about administrative management, so basic objective is to achieve efficiency as well as effectiveness. So here Max Weber, who is the author of who is the pioneer of bureaucracy, he developed a concept of bureaucracy, and bureaucracy is a formal system of organization and administration to ensure effectiveness and efficiency within the organization. So formal guidelines. So there is five principles of the bureaucracy. So what are the principles of bureaucracy? So a bureaucracy should have systematic task relationship. There is a operating procedures. They are called written rules, hierarchy of authority, that is organization structure, then fair evaluation and reward. So evaluation and reward is monitoring of the performance. So when we talk about key points of bureaucracy, one is authority. So authority means it is a power to hold people accountable for their actions. So managers are given authority in order to hold their responsibility. Then the next one is performance. Next, position duties are clearly identified, means who will perform which task. The task relations are very well defined. Then, lines of authority. Hierarchy is clearly defined. CEOs, middle managers, frontline managers, and the communication that flows from top level to bottom level. Those things can be clearly identified in the bureaucracy. Then rules, standard operating procedures, and norms. So these things are also set because every organization has certain guidelines, working procedures, ethics. So these things must be set part of the bureaucracy because every country they have a different working culture. They have different style of management or a different bureaucracy system. In Korea, the systems are different. The working hours are different. Hierarchies are different. It is not the same with India. It is not the same with China, Japan, US. It happens with the culture. It happens with the organization presence. If it is a multinational company, the bureaucracy system is different with a local company. So these things clearly we need to identify. Then there are 14 principles. We already know that Fayol has given 14 principles for the wellness of the organization. One is division of labor. So what do you mean by division of labor? Division of labor allows a job specialization. So authority and responsibility. Formal authority resulting from the expertise. So authority, responsibility, managers should be authoritative, managers should be responsible. Then the next one will be unity of command. Unity of command means the boss or the superior employee should have only one boss. Line of authority, a clear distinction from the top level management to the bottom level, and the communication flow. Then centralization, the degree to which authority rests at the top level. So there are centralization, decision making at the top level management, unity of direction, the guidance for the organization, equity, fair and justice for all the employees. All the employees must be treated equal. Order. So order is where they have the skill, where they have the high value. Initiative, innovation and creativity must be initiated in the organization. Discipline, obedient, applied, respectful, employees needed. So these are the principles of FAOL, along with remuneration of persons. The payment and salary wage system should be very clear. Stability of tenure, so employment should be given long term so that there may not be problem of job security. Then general interest over individual interest. When we are working in the organization, the personal interest should be kept aside and we should be focus on organization mission, organization interests, esprit de corps, enthusiasm and devotion to work together, achieve together, look for the greater achievement of the organization is part of that. Then so once we studied administrative management theory, bureaucracy, organization systems, relationships among the organization elements. Next one is behavioral management. Most of the time, it is not only machine, it is not only the payment, but it is also behavior of the organization elements, motivation, skill, and also ability to motivate the people. So Mary Parker Follett, so he given some managerial theories, and he suggested workers help in analyzing their jobs. The worker knows the best way to improve the job. If worker have the knowledge of the task, then they should control the task. So it is not only the physical environment that matters. In order to prove it is not only the physical environment that matters, the experiment is taken place at Hawthorne. It is known as Hawthorne experiments. So the study of worker efficiency at Hawthorne, it's a electric plant. So during 1924 to 1932, the performance of the employees is measured at different light illumination levels. Thought that for the better light the production will be very good, but psychologically it is not the right thing because employees not only look for the physical arrangements at the workplace, at whatever the level of degree of light the work is the same. So here what matters is there is a difference in the behavior because of the motivation and interest to the work. So that is major part of the behavioral management theory. So here McGregor, so he proposed two set of theories. Basically, all we have such things: theory X and theory Y. So there are two different explanations of theory X and theory Y. Theory X assume the average worker is lazy. Every human being or average worker is lazy. He dislikes the work and will do as it little as possible. So managers must closely supervise them, motivate them, reward them, and punishment. Through these things, he has to control the people. Then the theory Y is it is opposite of theory X. It assumes workers are not lazy, so want to do good job, and the job itself will determine if the worker likes the work or not. Means if the worker likes the work, automatically results will be good. So managers has to motivate them. See, theory Y focuses on the motivation. See, here we can say clear distinction. Theory X says employee is lazy. theory Y says employee is not lazy. Employee having the skill. Managers must closely supervise, but management should motivate the employees. So strict rules are part of theory X, but positive motivation is part of theory Y. So motivation and a positive environment will drive the better result for the individuals. It's not always strict rules, guidelines that develop a very competent employees, but it is the commitment, motivation, all these things will work. So theory Z, William Ouchi, she researched the cultural differences between Japan and USA. So it is the difference basically the work systems. USA culture emphasizes the individual and managers. They feel theory X is the model. But the Japanese culture expect worker committed to the organization first and thus behave differently than USA workers. So it both combines USA and Japanese structure. So what works for the theory Z is long-term employment, work group, and organizational focus. So these are the major systems. Then after this, there is a concept of management science that is bringing latest techniques of math, statistics, then engineering, then quality management, artificial intelligence, virtual reality into the existence. For example, when we see a production house, we are using CAD, computer aided manufacturing, CAD, those who design the new machineries. Then also in designing the buildings, we are using a softwares. Even constructing the houses, we are using the softwares. So we are controlling the softwares. Even for the banking, we are using the software, Finacle, Oracle. So all these things. So this is management science. We are adding management for the science. So here quantitative management like linear programming, simulation, graphical method, simplex method, transportation problem, traveling salesman problem, and decision theory. So all these things are part of quantitative management. Then operation managements are the techniques used in the production assembly line production units. So all these things are part of operations management. Then total quality management. So quality management principles. So there are quality groups, there are quality principles, there is a approach of Kaizen, there is a approach of Six Sigma. So Japanese Kaizen principles, 5S principles, all these part of quality management. Then information technology, combining the data warehousing systems. SAP, we are today speaking about SAP, system application and products for marketing, finance, customer relationship management, banking softwares. So all these things are part of MIS. So MIS technologies are also part of the manufacturing system today. So it's a integration of all the functional units with the technical aspect. So that is part of the management science. Then the next one will be organization environment theory. Every organization is a comprises of a process. The process is it will take input, it will process the input, it will produce the output. What is an input? For a manufacturing, for a cement company, input is water, input can be a land, or input can be a different types of resources. Charcoal, we can say, manufacturing equipment, we can say, so all these things. Then labor, we can say, though these things can be processed and produce the final product. And this is the work of the organization environment theory. Then the next one will be a system consideration. Every organization is a combination of open system as well as a closed system. So a open system interacts with the environment, outside environment. A closed system is entropy we can call. So it will lose the ability to control itself and fails, called closed system. Then synergy. Synergy means when we say performance gains of the whole surpass the components. So energy, synergy is also like energy. So it leads to group activities, teamwork. When we say synergy, 1 plus 1 produces greater amount than two people work. When two people work together, they produce much work than they work individually. So that is called synergy. So in the organization, they must work together in order to produce the greater output. That is a part of synergy. So when we say organization as an open system, it takes input, conversion, and output. So contingency theory is nothing but it is the chance. Like when we say the environmental challenges, today we are talking about corona pandemic, financial instability, organizations will have contingency plans. Means when the regular system doesn't work, what is the contingency plan? That can be part of contingency theory. So managers should be dynamic. They are flexible to react to the challenges very quickly and make the decisions and keep the work at a pace, and they have to face all the challenges. So technological changes, environmental changes, financial changes globally and locally. So then when we say about the structures, one is mechanistic structure, that is organization is centralized. Theory X is the approach here. Then organic structure is decentralized. When we visit Google, Microsoft, Facebook, most of the time we will see organic structure where there is a lot of motivation and employment encouragement for creativity and innovation of the employees. So it focus theory why. So like this, all these management theories will work for the betterment of the organization. So these are also very important for our day-to-day life, especially for management graduates in every stage. They can go through all these things in the workplace. So thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.